Today, we're diving into a concept that's right at the very edge of what we can understand. Something that links up theoretical physics with some really ancient wisdom. Let's get into it.
So let's just start with a question that might bend your brain a little bit. What if your body, your house, this entire world you see around you, what if it's all just the shadow of a reality that's way bigger and more complex? It's a pretty wild thought, but it's the perfect doorway into what we're talking about today.
To really wrap our heads around this, we're going to need a thought experiment. So, just imagine, there's a being who lives one dimension up from us, and they're looking down on our reality. Kind of like how we would look at a cartoon character drawn on a flat piece of paper, you know? That perspective, that's the key to everything.
Okay, so in this first part, we're going to piece together a picture of what that higher reality might actually be like. And we're not just making this up, we're pulling from real physics, from quantum research, string theory, and even from near-death accounts and ancient scriptures. This is where science and mysticism seem to be saying the same thing.
But hang on. Before we can take that huge leap into the fifth dimension, we need to make sure we've got a solid foundation. So let's do a super quick run-through of the dimensions we already live in, just so we're all on the same page.
First up, the third dimension, 3D. This is our home turf, the world of length, width, and height. It's the physical reality we can touch and measure and move around in. Pretty straightforward, right?
Now, the fourth dimension, this is where it gets a little trippy. The fourth dimension is time. And thanks to Einstein, we know time isn't some separate thing. It's actually woven together with space to create what we call space-time. From a 4D perspective, your whole life, from the moment you're born to the moment you die, already exists. It's like a single, complete line. Your consciousness is just the thing that's moving along that line, which gives you that feeling of past, present, and future. And here is where it gets really, really interesting. The fifth dimension, 5D, isn't another direction like up or down. It's the dimension of possibility. Think of it as the space that holds every single choice you could have ever made, every alternate reality, every branching timeline, and they all exist at the exact same time.
So you see the difference? It's all about perspective. In 4D, you see your life as just one single path, one timeline. But from the fifth dimension, you'd see this enormous, sprawling landscape of timelines, where every single decision you ever made, or even could have made, branches out and creates a whole new reality.
All right, so we've got the theory down. Now, let's really try to picture it. What would a being who can actually perceive this 5D landscape, what would they see when they look down at our world?
Well, from that vantage point, a person isn't a solid thing at all. You'd look more like a shimmering web of probabilities, with your past, your present, and all of your potential futures visible at once. Solid walls, they'd be totally transparent, because a 3D object is just a slice of a higher dimension. Every choice you make would look like a ripple spreading out, creating brand new timelines. And time itself, it wouldn't be a ticking clock. It would be a complex, beautiful shape, like a branching tree, or maybe a giant spiral.
And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? It's the fundamental shift. A 5D being doesn't sit there and watch the future unfold second by second like we do. They navigate it. They can actually move through this landscape of time and possibility just like we would walk through a park.
Now, what's so fascinating is that this idea, which sounds like something straight out of science fiction, it isn't new. You can find echoes of it in both cutting-edge physics and in some of the oldest spiritual texts humanity has. The parallels, they're pretty mind-blowing.
I mean, just look at this. The idea of seeing all of time at once, that's conceptually a lot like the multiverse theory from physics. And it sounds an awful lot like ancient texts talking about seeing the end from the beginning. The idea of moving through solid walls, that actually aligns with concepts in M theory, and it's almost identical to stories of angelic beings. Even perceiving multiple realities at once has a direct parallel in quantum superposition, which is a cornerstone of modern physics.
Okay, let's bring all this home. In our final section, we're going to see how this huge cosmic idea actually boils down to something incredibly personal. What does this higher dimensional perspective mean for you, for your life?
So let's bring this right back to you. Just imagine for a second that you could tap into this 5D consciousness right now. What would you actually experience? This isn't just some abstract exercise. It's a way of completely reframing your own potential.
In an instant, you would just see it all. The entire web of your life, every choice you made, every path you didn't take, and every single potential future you could have. You'd finally understand why certain challenging things happened, because you'd see the larger pattern they were part of. You would realize, deep down that your life isn't just random or chaotic, but it's this beautifully designed structure of potential that you are navigating.
And that leaves us with one last, pretty provocative thought. Maybe you aren't just a person trapped in time, living out one single life. Maybe you are a vast consciousness and you're just learning how to navigate the infinite landscape of possibility. What would you do differently starting tomorrow if you really knew that every single choice you make actually creates a new world?